Hello and welcome to Nintendo Voice, your voice for everything Nintendo. This is episode 142, being recorded on the 7th of June 2018. My name is Lewis Pugh, and joining me to talk all things Nintendo, we have Harrison Milfeld.
Hey everybody, you're all probably wondering why I sound a little different. It's because I have a new mic finally.
Woo! Can we, for the people watching on youtube.com/Nintendo Voice, can we have a quick sneak peek of the mic? Is that possible? Or is that going to destroy the setup?
No, this won't destroy the setup, but it's basically... You're getting a look at my Kirby shirt right now, but yes, it's essentially the same one, a blue Yeti red. So there it is. It's a little...
I'll be honest, I just wanted to see that. I just wanted to see that Kirby shirt once more.
You do. He's very happy. I mean...
He's happy.
But I don't know. I would prefer a pretty upset, well, not upset Kirby shirt. I would like a one that's more... That's what I said,
a mean Kirby. But yeah, angry.
A mean Kirby. Mean Kirby's always good.
Mean Kirby is fun Kirby, I guess.
Mm-hmm. And what's this other voice I hear? We have a third member on this show. Colin Crumpton, how are you?
Hi. Apparently I'm new. I haven't been here for the last... How many years it's been?
Yes. New to episode 142 of the show.
I guess that counts. We can roll with that. Hello, everybody.
As we've discussed before, you don't exist till you've been formally announced.
That's true.
That's podcast etiquette for you. However, it's not always a rule to abide to. Sometimes the show is better if you break certain rules.
Oh, of course. Always.
Unfortunately, that was not one of them. However, today it's the unofficial title of Lewis's favourite show of the year. It is the E3 Predictions Show. Nintendo Voice presents for 2018. That's all we've got. We've got one big feature for you. We're going to talk about our predictions, what we hope to see, maybe even what we don't hope to see, and what we expect to see. All very different questions. And let's start off. Let's just try to get a feel of the room in terms of just excitement levels. Just kind of without talking about anything in particular. How kind of excited or not are we for E3, which comes up in just a few days?
I'm curious of what Colin has to say first right now. So I'm not to put him under the bus. It's like...
No, it's fine. This is going to be depressing. I'm not particularly excited for E3. I haven't been excited for an E3 in about 3 years. My expectations are always low.
Why 3 years, Colin? That's
more or less a rough estimate.
Is it? I'm not sure it's true or not. I feel that kind of lines up when they stopped doing the actual live presentations and went to the direct format.
It doesn't really fall in line with that. It just falls in line with E3 used to be, and I'm sure it still is to some people, but to me it used to be this huge event. I was really excited for it, and I was always I think because I always wanted more than what they could give. So I always come out of it
we're a bit greedy.
I wish I could have more, So I like to set my expectations low. I don't go out there expecting the world, and then they're I'm pleasantly surprised. That's how I see it. So
okay, if I that's the opposite to my approach, where you just kind of wish for the heavens, and then normality is rolled out, and it could have been a lot more.
Yeah.
All right, Harrison. How about you? You obviously have a very unique angle here. So, what's your excitement levels for E3?
Well, like you said, there is a unique level to this because I'm actually going to be there in LA covering the event for Pure Nintendo, and everything's just kind of settling in for me, being both overly excited but also just terrified at the prospect of I'm just trying to get everything in order right now to actually just be ready and prepared for this whole thing. But as far as being there, my excitement level is through the roof. Now, as far as what to expect from Nintendo, it's always some people like to say, go very conservative on it in terms of how much are they going to show and what, because we know several things we know that they're going to be showing off, Smash Brothers being the case there. It's just, but as far as what I'm going to expect, I went in with low expectations just knowing from last year's E3 and through that 20-ish minute E3 spotlight they were able to just give me like little nuggets of things. And I'm like, okay, I need to see more of this now. But but there's also things you got to look forward to. Is like after this, you have the Treehouse event where it's like you don't just own the day for one day. You spread everything out to continue to have people keep talking. So I don't have a number wise of how excited I am, but I'm just I'm cautiously optimistic right now, but still
buzzing.
But buzzing. Yeah.
Okay, even though you're actually going to E3, you're on the cautiously optimistic scale.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. That's professionalism right there. That is.
Of course it is.
Exactly. I would not be the same if I was going. I would be at 11 for no particular reason beyond just expectations which can never be reached.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Well, for me, I'm not going to E3 this year.
Oh.
This brings like maybe the order. If we change the order this round, my score would be higher. I am excited for E3 though.
Okay.
This is the Switch's second E3 showing, and their first was very close to the reveal of the whole system. So they already had revealed a lot of stuff just that year. Like a lot of new games had already been announced, and like although we've had some cool announcements since for sure. I think there are some really cool things brewing which haven't been leaked. So I am excited. I'd like to warn the audience. I have already said that my excitement levels do get quite high this time of year. So
just in general,
don't necessarily think exactly. the predictions I come out with, they may not turn out to be true, but some of them have been close before. You never know. But yeah. Personally, I always get excited around E3 time. I usually book time off of work just so I can, stream at least the live events. And like Nintendo's been very good, as Harrison's mentioned. Like they do that Treehouse stream now, and so like if you've got some time over E3, you can tune into the Treehouse and you got some live coverage just going on. Yeah. But it's handy to like actually watch the other conferences because Nintendo's pretty good for us. That's pretty good time worldwide, I think. Mm-hmm. But some of them are at terrible times over here. And so you kind of do need that time off if you do want to watch them live.
Yeah.
Like, I think Sony starts at like 2 a.m. almost every year over here. And theirs is a long show.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it is.
Doesn't go well together, especially if you work the next day. So, yeah, my excitement levels are high. So, looking forward to it. I think we're going to have some cool things. So, let's jump into like our expectations of what we're going to go. Because we've got our excitement levels there. And so let's also jump into a bit of like some actual stuff. We think, so things which are kind of just generally like actually have been announced, or maybe things which are heavily leaked or rumored. What sort of things are we expecting? Like beyond like actual confirmations, things like we know Smash Bros is going to be there, things like that. Any uncertainties that we're pretty confident will show up?
Okay, so something that hasn't been announced as being there, but something we know of that's in the works is Metroid Prime 4.
Okay, that would count for this, yeah.
I'm very intrigued to see if this will show up again. Because it showed up last year. Very briefly.
For the first time, yeah. It was announced.
We got a screenshot. So
we got a logo.
We got a logo. That, yeah, right. So
screenshot will be improvement.
Screenshot will be this year, maybe.
Just the one?
You got to build it up.
We are proud to announce this screenshot. And like little curtain around.
They kind of did it with Zelda, Skyward Sword. Like we have artwork.
And they always did that with Zelda, but it was that transformed into that intro, though, didn't it? It wasn't just
true.
I'll say, but I actually do vividly remember that artwork. It was like 2009, I think, whatever. I think that was when they did that. But I was listening to an IGM stream where they had a private meeting and they just showed it like how they weren't ready to show off like Zelda at that point. And then I think it was Per Schneider or somebody like that. They decided like, well, I can't take a photo of this, so I'm just going to draw what I saw. So, and
very that's a good way of getting around it.
That's what they do in court.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you've mentioned Metroid Prime 4.
Yes.
So let's, I guess, go around here. Do we think, like, I guess, Colin, you reckon we'll see more Metroid Prime 4 in some entity, in some quality?
I feel like they'll drop a trailer for it.
A trailer? Okay. some sort of rough date to go alongside it, or
if you're very vague, 2019.
like a year one? Okay,
Yeah, just be like 2019. 2020.
very low a year. Okay, Harrison, what do you reckon we will just wait to see what Prime for?
I'm going 50-50 on this one because I feel like they could easily I think they could easily say this for another direct, or who knows, whatever the Game Awards does that whole like reveals as well, like we saw Bayonetta 3, which, oh, by the way, that could be a possibility too as well.
It could be.
But expecting I know we're all over the place on this one, but what I'm expecting is expectations just more in Smash Brothers. I really am just curious how this is going to be.
Harrison wants one game, and it's
All
Smash
right.
Brothers.
It's non-committal on Prime 4 though. You're not going to save away.
Mm-hmm.
If I had to kind of push you to one side, what do you reckon? Will or won't be there?
But it's I don't know. It's very interesting how it's going to be playing out and such. But I just really do hope that we do see some Metroid Prime 4 stuff. But again, when I said it was 50-50 on it, but I just kind of I want to brace myself thinking like I could see it skipping, or they just mention about it in passing. But that's one thing on there.
Okay, well, I guess for myself, to round it up, Prime 4 is a tricky one.
Is it?
I feel that, yeah, I think in the sense that, like, part of the announcement last year was in development now.
Yes.
Like, it was very, like, odd wording for Nintendo. Like, I don't think they've ever, like, announced, like, saying that. Like, it sounded like the same month they formed the team to make it sort of thing.
True. I don't think they've ever done this for Metroid, where they're like, we have a logo. They've never done that's.
And I doubt that's a final logo either. Like, I reckon when the game comes out, it will have a different logo.
Oh, most likely.
Exactly, yeah, like very different. Like, I reckon that was very rushed.
Oh god, it was like, just like. Boop.
But then again, they seem to be on the ball currently.
Yeah. Oh, they're cranking out stuff.
So I'm going to say we're going to see something of Prime 4 at least.
Mm-hmm.
A drawing.
It might be in that ballpark.
You don't think a trailer, at the very least, like a very.
It might just be a teaser, like the sort of in quotes trailer we had for Bayo 3 already.
That would be a continuation of what we got last year, though. That was more or less a teaser.
Nah, I mean, like, as in, like, some sort of glimpse, like a glimpse of, like, that Samus model, but not actual, like, any gameplay or anything. Like, you could see, like, oh, it's a slightly new outfit, or the gun looks slightly different.
I think it'll be like a CG trailer. It will be gameplay or anything like that. It would be
okay. I don't think we're talking too far off then.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's way too early for gameplay stuff. Considering they only had like a title, just a logo before. Yeah, it'd be interesting. Interesting one to see if they actually pop out of it like that. But
it's a good one, and hopefully we'll see more. I think we obviously would all like to. But we're talking expectations here. Harrison mentioned Bayonetta 3. So we've had a teaser 4 already. Obviously, we've had since then, like the ports of 1 and 2 have come out on the Switch. They've seemingly been quite successful. I believe Bayonetta 2 has already outsold its previous release, its initial release on the Wii U. So, will we see more of Bayonetta 3 at E3?
What will we see? Say that question one more time.
Oh, do you think Bayonetta 3 will show up at E3 in some form?
Put this in another 50-50 for me.
I don't like these 50-50s, Harrison. I have to admit.
Well, okay. So, well, you know, like I said, when I was making the notes, I realized, hey, there's these games that are definitely going to happen here, and ones that you're just 50-50 on showing. Like that's my case with this. But with Bayonetta 3, I think it'll be talked about and mentioned.
That counts. That's all I'm asking. I reckon it will. I reckon we're going to see a lot of Bayonetta 3, actually.
Oh, a lot.
Yeah,
oh, you are
like extensive story trailer with gameplay in it.
Here's the entire game.
I reckon it's like. Do we know when it started development? Because I reckon it could.
They never tell us these details.
True. I reckon it could almost be end of year game. Bayonetta 3.
Oh, no.
Really? Huh.
No chance.
Yeah, and I do. I know that's not the word on the street.
The word on
Sometimes you
the
got
even outside,
make
it was like, I wonder if Bayonetta 3 is coming out. So I was like, "Psst, it's not the end of the year. it's
I've got a feeling like we had a little teaser trailer. It looked like it looked like it was using game assets, and they were just deliberately not showing us much of it. I don't think it was just that. Oh, it's only been in development for a few months, sort of thing. I reckon they were playing coy because this was even before the ports of 1 and 2 had come out. They did the announcement that 3 was coming to Switch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a tough one. It's a tough one.
Either way, I reckon it will actually have quite a big showing.
I can see again a trailer for it, like one of their highlight sections. Like, hey, Bayonetta 3. But again, I'm going to say early 2019. I cannot see it come out this year.
Okay. That's cool.
Yeah.
That's fair. That's a realistic prediction to have.
I like to think so.
In fact, some would say that's probably a bit too early, an early 2019 release.
Well, you said like at the end of this year, like
that is what I said. Yes, I'm not a normal person, though, am I? We've already covered that subject. Potentially. All right, Colin. Any sort of games that we know of you reckon we'll see on the Nintendo showing? And actually, I guess to give you a little bit of buffer time as well, I believe we heard recently that the Nintendo broadcast is going to be 45 minutes long.
That's a healthy time.
Which is longer than what their couple last ones have been, I believe.
Yeah. Just going through my head, like potential things we've heard of but we haven't seen for a while.
Yeah, but to be fair, I mean, like this can also include things we have seen recently, or just like things you reckon will be in that show.
I'm going to pull one out that nobody will mention because it's pretty much forgotten about. But Miyamoto said it was almost done. I think we're going to see Pikmin at this.
Pikmin 4.
Oh, which was it? How many years ago did they say that was supposed to be done? It was almost done.
It was like at the end of the Wii U's life. They're like, oh yeah,
I think it wasn't even at the end of it. I think it was like almost pretty quick after Pikmin 3 came out. That was.
But I don't think they would have scrapped it. I think they would have reworked it for the Switch, and it couldn't take that long to do. So I feel
they're only small.
They're really small, exactly. Tiny little things. So yeah, that'd be interesting if they did.
Handcrafted. Go think about that, Colin. You don't just meet one red Pikmin. I mean, hundreds of them.
Yeah, takes time, you know.
Maybe that would be a different Pikmin 4. Maybe they were having individual characteristics and slightly different models because they can with the power of the Switch.
You're not going to see them.
Nah, you won't see it.
They're just like things you throw at enemies.
That's not true.
They don't have souls, Lewis. I'm sorry.
They do. You can see them. Save their body when they use the hum.
That's actually a very fair point. Yeah, you're right.
So you're at Pikmin 4. See, that is a tough one. I'm gonna say no.
What?
I really like Pikmin. I really want to see it, but it's just in such a weird place. I feel we'd have at least another weird Miyamoto quote before we see it.
I mean,
well, are you talking about the Miyamoto quote? Like, well, no, is it a delayed game is eventually good, a bad game is bad forever?
No, well, I was specifically referencing like in terms of it was me. I believe it was Miyamoto who said about Pikmin 4's almost done.
Yeah.
You know, the many years ago. Like, I reckon we'll have another little Pikmin tidbit from him between now and its announcement.
Yeah, maybe. But
it would be good fit on Switch. Well,
people,
maybe not. I just want to play it, and then Switch is where I'd play it. I don't think I would play it portably or in split Joy-Con mode or anything like that.
But yeah.
All right. What do you reckon Pikmin's chances are, Harrison? Good or bad?
I'm just kind of really tired of talking about it because I just not that I don't.
Harrison is down E3.
Well, not because I don't want.
It's his day job now. That's why.
Yeah.
Well, no, not because I don't want to see it exactly. Is that I just we've been waiting for so long. I know it's either in development or if it's not. It's just such a strange thing just looking back in this history right now. But who knows? It could become like, here's Pikmin. It's now a battle royale. I'm like, what? I mean, actually, that would be perfect with Pikmin.
Kind of work, actually. No.
What, Pikmin battle royale? Well, as you play as a Pikmin.
Wow. I mean, yes.
All right. What? Do you have to like form up with like squads to take down like these enemies in the field, sort of thing? It's like Pikmin doesn't really seem like one-on-one combat, does it? Against other Pikmin.
I mean, maybe we don't.
But
know,
it is the only game that you like support 100 characters
the
in.
history of the Pikmin. Maybe this is how it all began for them.
True.
The Pikmin Wars. Very
Pikmin
dark.
Wars. All right. Which this is the most important E3 question here. If you played a new Pikmin Battle Royale game, which Pikmin would you choose?
Oh, the blue.
Okay. So you reckon you swim to safety or to new locations?
Guaranteed victory. Just swim away from everybody else.
Remember, the yellow Pikmin can throw bombs, and that could be useful.
True. The red Pikmin, though, are apparently the best at fighting, so...
They'll be the best at standard one-on-one scraps, yeah. You want to be a red Pikmin there.
Just slapping everybody.
Yeah. Oh, actually, no, wait. Is the... Does red Pikmin beat purple Pikmin?
What's purple's strength? I've never played a Pikmin game, so I don't really know.
Oh, well, the purples and, like, the white ones came in on 2.
Okay.
And then 3 introduced, like, rock Pikmin.
They didn't exist before?
I would think maybe in a different part of whatever planet you're on, which may or may not be Earth, with Pikmin in, weird enemies.
That doesn't make sense.
Well, they just didn't... Oliver didn't discover these other Pikmin in his little adventure in the first game.
All right, fair enough.
He was only there 30 days.
You know,
In Pikmin 2, he had as much time as he wanted to pay off that debt.
That's funny.
We've covered Pikmin, haven't we?
I don't know, but I do think it's going to show up at some point, but I don't think E3 will probably be it.
Okay. There we go. Two against one column. No Pikmin for you.
Boo.
That's how this works. We're ordering it now.
No Pikmin for me.
You know, we'd have a very different show next year if, like, everything we agree on, as it were, happens.
It'll be the quickest show ever. It'll be like, yes. Right, we're off.
Oh, yeah, we should be an endless list of yeses. Wait, is there a series we've not mentioned yet?
Yeah, exactly.
Let's have a think, yes. Okay, let me chuck one in. So a series we kind of know about. We don't know that's going to be there. I've not actually thought what this one is going to be. It's going to be Fire Emblem. So this is a game they said would be coming out this year.
True.
We've not heard a word of it since.
I feel like this is a very safe answer.
I don't think it's a safe answer.
I
they haven't said a word about it. I think it could be easily like, like for whatever reason, priorities or development problems, or maybe like the scope of the project, it's become bigger. They've not said a word. Maybe it's just coming out next year and they won't talk about it next year.
Fire Emblem is too hot for them to not even mention it. It's too hot of a franchise. They'll mention it.
They've not mentioned it yet. It's been over a year since they talked about it.
Which is why I like Bowie 3. All the eyes are on us.
Yeah.
That's no, I agree with you. I think it's I do believe it's going to be shown. And I'll be surprised if it comes out in 2018. But again, I feel like looking at the schedule, it's going to be Smash and Pokemon are what are going to be driving their sales for that one. And,
yeah. Unfortunately, yes.
Unfortunately,
well, I mean, for Pokemon, yeah.
So we might have to jump into some Pokemon particular E3 questions just so I can get more out of that one. All right, so maybe a safe. So that's yeses all round for Fire Emblem. We're going to see the next true Fire Emblem game this E3. Well, that's pretty cool. I'm looking forward to that. I'm glad that's true now.
It's true. It's done.
Well, yeah, it was free. How could it be wrong?
It's going to happen, but
and Colin, you yourself said it was a safe answer.
Safe.
That warms my soul.
Safe doesn't mean accurate. Safe means very good chance of happening.
Yeah, very good chance. I like that.
All right.
All right. Anyone got any more of these kind of like series which like
Easy.
aren't too crazy, sort of out of the realms of possibility. Things that we kind of know about that they want to bring up.
One we're not talking about is that new Yoshi game.
Ooh, that's a very good one.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, that. Yeah.
Well, Colin's not impressed, but Colin, do you reckon we'll see it at the show?
Probably.
Probably, an unenthusiastic probably.
I mean, it's.
That's kind of E3 material for Nintendo.
Yeah, that's the unfortunate thing. It is. So yes,
And it probably showed well. I mean, it's not going to be a game for everybody, but I bet it kind of like technically looks quite good, that game now, with all the kind of the fabricy worlds and because Woody World was a good looking game. Even like well, it was Kirby, but Epic Yarn on the Wii.
yeah.
That was, because of the art style, it showed well.
Nintendo does textures good, apparently. Yeah, no, definitely.
Certain kinds, actual textures.
Actual textures. Yeah, it'll be there. I don't particularly care for it, but it'll be there.
All right. Yeah, it's like it's an odd one, really. Like, yeah, I imagine it. Like, it's one of those ones which, like, it's obviously had a better showing, like than Fire Emblem, but it's also one that they've not spoken a word about since.
Mhm.
But yeah, I reckon we'll see it in some form. Probably not too much, but you never know, because it's been that sort of time. It might be the sort of thing they go, all right, this is one of the ones we can really kind of blow out because we've not said much about it. And they can go into a little like toy store or some sort of fabric store or wherever they're basing these materials from in this game, and they can have a little developer talk.
Like, are there any materials left they haven't done? Like felt? Have they done a felt game?
Well, I think this one's a bit more kind of open. I don't think it's one strict rule. So there's probably going to be felt in here, Colin. So it's not bad.
Silent 4-2.
Yeah.
Felt World.
Yeah. Top of the pro columns under the review. Felt.
Amazing. Felt. Includes felt.
No, that's the real thing. Is if they do a special edition, which comes in a felt box.
Oh, that would be good.
Oh, there we go.
I'm not quite sure how
you can sell this game to Colin.
So the thing is, it has to be a plastic case for it to close.
Of course, and the whole thing comes in a big cardboard box because it's a special edition. But inside is the normal box, and like how you would have a steel box, it's a felt box.
Yeah, I don't want that.
It's an actual steel box that they put a felt cover over. All right, so I reckon we'll see some Yoshi. Some Yoshi.
No, but what's its title going to be? I did hear.
That's a good question.
No, I like that rumored one, but that turned out to be obviously fake. Was like it's called Yoshi's Flipping World or something like that, and I was like, please let that be the title, please.
That would be a good title. I think it's didn't Yoshi have a Game Boy Advanced motion controlled game or something like alongside Kirby? Or I might have had a weird fever dream and made that one up too.
Wait.
I was going to say, were you hallucinating at the time?
It's hard to tell.
Kind of sounds like you were hallucinating at the time.
If there's any live or non-live listeners out there who can back up my claims, please let me know for my own sanity's sake. hello@nintendovoice.com.
There you go.
We've got Dolly Bear on the chat. Ironically, he's probably pronouncing the name wrong. Apologies. Saying, laugh out loud the way Lewis says Yoshi or Yoshi. I'm not sure which. I've said both.
You do have a pronunciation in, like Yoshi.
It's interchangeable, but sometimes it's Yoshi or Yoshi or.
I feel one's European, one's American. Maybe one's just correct, one's wrong. Maybe they're both wrong, the way I say them.
I just call him Yo for short.
Yo. I was always wondering why you kept saying yo during Yoshi discussions. Now I know. So yeah, any other kind of these safer bets that we want to go through before we really up the ante? I'm
struggling to think of what's been quietly announced but hasn't been discussed.
So yeah, does anything we've kind of seen before? So I guess like do you think we'll see anything from like Project Octopath Traveler? Any of the like sort of Square games which we know about?
I feel like Octopath Traveler will be shown because they're like pushing that game hard.
Anything of like substance? Do you reckon will come out of it? Like we look at the game in a new light because they've shown this new feature.
We already know the release date. It's in August, I believe. But yeah, it's not too long after. I imagine it'll just be like it's just a trailer just to sell you on the game. I don't think it'll push too hard on a new feature, but like, here's the game. Look how gorgeous it looks. Buy it now.
Okay. Yeah, I think it might be a similar showing. All right, feel free to jump in, but I feel we're going to go now to our medium and just big games, whether it's just kind of franchises or just games that are rumored. I guess just anything which isn't a safe bet at this point.
Okay.
So let's jump straight into just a random one. So franchises, Zelda. Will we see anything from The Legend of Zelda?
It is the
2018.
It is the 25th anniversary of Link's Awakening, and I quite honestly would not mind a Link Between Worlds S remake of that. I don't know what.
And that one's been kind of rumored. I don't think anything's there's been any like anyone kind of collaborating sources and going like, yep, we've heard this. But this one, which seems to be popping up recently, is the Link Awakening remix.
Colin is sounding very annoyed at the prospects of this.
I just don't think it's going to happen. I just don't think it's going. It's
maybe I can change your mind, Colin. Think about the remake, yeah, just what you want, and now think of it releasing for the 3DS. Does that make it any more realistic to you?
I mean,
it
makes it more realistic.
That's bad, isn't it?
The thing about Link's Awakening, it is the oddest Zelda game, I think. If you take it in comparison to the other games, I don't know how.
Wait! Did you say that Link's Awakening is the oddest?
Yes. Oh, easily.
More odd than like Link's like Zelda 2, Link's Adventure.
Well, okay.
Yes and no.
Zelda 2 isn't crazy. It's just it's a Zelda game from a different perspective. But Link's Awakening, it mismatches all these different ideas. Like that's more the chain chomp in it, right? Is there a chain chomp in Link's Awakening?
It's got chain chomps in there. It's also got Kirby's and Yoshi's and Goombas.
There's a lot of crossover with Mario in Link's Awakening. Bizarrely.
It is the only Zelda game, I believe, with random Mario characters in it.
So, I don't see that happening. It'd be nice, but I don't. Yeah, I just don't see it.
You don't see it? That's okay. And do you reckon we'll see anything Zelda-y, Colin?
Link's Crossbow Training 2?
Using split Joy-Cons, maybe?
Yeah, that'd be terrible. Actually, anything I would like, if they're going to do a remake of anything, Minish Cap. I would love to see them redo Minish Cap.
Ooh, I assume your hope would be that would be on the Switch.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Yes. But I don't see it happening. Yeah, I don't think we'll see anything Zelda. I don't think we'll see anything. I think it's a little too early. I don't think we'll see a tease for the next Zelda game, although they do keep bringing up that, next Zelda game is going to be open world, which is all good news. But I don't think we'll see anything of it. I think it's way too early. Yeah, I think Zelda's going to be
No? Okay.
I think only in some form, but because we are way, way, way off from probably anything. Now, as far as something maybe, okay. This is one thing I want to ask. Whatever, like, I'm sorry, I've been taking the reins off here. What Wii U port do you think they'll announce that comes to the Switch?
This kind of ties into what I was going to say for my Zelda answer.
What is that?
Kind of. Because it's not a Wii U game. But I reckon the Zelda news will be some ports, as in, or not Wii U games, but basically HD versions of the 3D versions of Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask as one Switch cartridge. It would be basically, it would be Grezzo doing the work, and they will improve them again, but using some of the sensibilities that they've already made, and sell them in one pack, sort of thing. Ocarina
That's
and Majora's.
a really good idea, Lewis, but there's one fatal flaw. There's no chance they're going to sell it as a double pack.
I reckon it might, because I reckon it won't look like Breath of the Wild. It will look like a 64 game, but a little, but nicer. And that's why I reckon they put them together as a full-priced game together. Because think they're still more expensive than Virtual Console.
Yeah, 3D remakes of Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask, when they first came out, they were full-price games. And not only that, they didn't actually look like N64 games.
And most of us bought them both.
I only bought one. I never got Majora's Mask. I never did, which is weird because that's one of my favourite Zelda games. But I never did the 3D version.
You heard it here. Ocarina of Majora's coming to Switch this year. One cart.
2 cards.
2 carts.
2 carts. Jeez.
I'll raise you 2 carts to 1 cart that you may need to download something.
No.
No, they won't really download it. 1 cart. All right. So Wii U games, which because obviously we've seen a lot of Wii U ports so far on the Switch. Yes. There's a few, but not necessarily a huge amount of like great quality Wii U games which haven't had a Switch port yet, or just
notable ones actually. I think.
Yeah. So actual ports here. So not new games. What games do you reckon could just be ported in the Donkey Kong Tropical Freestyle?
Oh, well, the one
maybe like a minor edition, but that'd be it.
I was thinking something like Xenoblade Chronicles X, because that game is a really pretty game to look at. They also spend a lot of time on it, so probably it'd be even better, I think.
It'd be a good fit. I'd finally get to play that full game.
Yeah.
And I can give the copy I'm borrowing still back.
You're still borrowing it?
The worst thing is I'm borrowing it from a friend it is his only Wii U game.
He's looking at his Wii U like, well, there it is. I can't play it.
It might have come with it might have came with Mario Kart sort of thing, but he wasn't interested in it. He just bought it for Xenoblade.
Oh dear.
We've got Gaskin and Junior in the chat suggesting possibly a Devil's Third port.
Oh no! No, that's a dead game. It's a dead game.
I'm sure it's still thriving on the PC.
I'm sure it is.
Multiplayer. Maybe
like 6 people are still playing it.
Oh, that's a low blow. It tried its best.
It's not a low blow. It's fact.
I assume no one reckons we'll see that.
No.
I don't.
Oh hell, heck no! No.
It would be interesting to see. I don't reckon we're seeing it though.
Let's talk about it.
So actual Wii U ports then. What about it seems odd, but maybe like a new Super Mario Bros. Plus the Luigi game. Do you reckon that's something they could port over? I think the problem with that game is the name, surely.
The name, yeah, you have to.
you can't use the name.
Switch. But then it's not new, and that makes it.
I don't think you're allowed to change the name of ports. It's against the rules.
I mean, they put unless they call it New Super Mario Bros. U
for Switch,
or Switch Edition or something,
or Switch U or U Switch or something.
Yeah. Actually, one game which would be quite good, Mario Maker. I wonder if we're here in Mario Maker.
I was saving that one because I don't think it would be a port. But I guess if it just comes out and it's called Mario Maker, that would count still.
Yeah. Oh, what they can't? Oh, Mario Maker Switch. It's still Mario Maker.
Oh, true, but I mean, they could just drop a 2 on the end or something else. Like they're trying to make a big deal. There's a lot more stuff in this one. Well, yeah, but if they double the tool set, do lots of other systems.
The only way they can make it justifiable for a sequel, you add in more graphical styles, which don't know how.
You could do that.
Which ones have they missed out though?
Like the portable games. You could have a classic Game Boy.
That's like scraping the barrel though.
No, that would be fun. Especially if the resolution dropped, so you could only see like a few inches around Mario, and then you can make a level around that. So there we go.
That would be cool, actually.
There we go. We turned him round.
Yes, I'm now convinced.
Excellent. That's what it took. So, yeah, I would love to see more Mario Maker. And hopefully, I'm guessing they would have to answer the question of how you would edit levels not in portable mode. Give us some options, even if not the preferable way to do it. Yeah, I'm hoping for Mario Maker. I'm not necessarily expecting it right now. I reckon it comes a little later, which is a shame. I want Mario Maker.
I think
I'm just going to edit that bit out. I'm going to take audio snippets and just play it at the beginning of the show.
I was going to say, is that how we're going to end every show now? It's like the old Brandon Jones, I love microtransactions at the end of Game Trailers and Easy Alloys podcast now.
Yeah.
There's got to be some other gems. Like there's certain games which just are too Wii U specific. And I guess one of those games I would say was Star Fox Zero.
Oh,
but do you reckon that could be retooled?
No.
It would have to be rebuilt. It would have to be rebuilt. And I don't think they wouldn't bother. They would just like, we're doing a new Star Fox game, because it's the same amount of work at that point. Yeah, no chance of Star Fox Zero. I mean, I don't think it did terribly well enough to justify it in any case.
It had a middling. Well, it's middling. So it was middling received middling, but I don't like the idea of people when they say port this to the Switch so you can actually fix the controls thing. Is like that game was designed from the ground up using that tablet. Yeah, I feel like if you took everything, if you took everything out of that,
it was kind of like how Kid Icarus was designed from the ground up to have a dodgy control scheme.
Yeah, so, and I enjoyed, and I got used to that, and turned out, and again, like I said, ended up being one of my, as I mentioned on the show, one of my favorite 3DS games.
But the dodgy control scheme.
Okay, a Wii U game which which sometimes comes up with the discussion of being ported to Switch is the wonderful 101 by Platinum. We've even had quite a while back now some official art which almost suggested as such. We had the wonderful 101 cast. I can't remember if they're actually playing Switches or they were in the neon coloured gear. There was I believe there was something like that, or maybe it's the wording which accompanied the image. Is that true? Is that a real thing? Are we going to see that this year at E3? No.
Just no.
Well, you don't. So you don't.
Do you reckon they were just trolling, or do you reckon it was something that they wanted to do? Maybe they were trying to gauge feedback, or
no.
No, just no.
Just no. I don't think we'll see Wonderful 101.
I think I'm gonna say, you know what?
Ooh.
I think not here, but I think at some point in the future, I think we're gonna see it.
Okay, I'll take that.
That's still technically no. See, Harrison's agreeing with me, just with a curve at the end. Yeah.
What could you say? Although on that note, we have Conversation Street on the live chat. He's joined us on live chat, so thank you.
Conversation Street, that's a great name.
Yeah. Who does a podcast about Coronation Street, believe it or not. We have interacted on Twitter in the past.
Amazing.
They are commenting. I don't know who's behind the mask, as it were, but they are wearing the same Zelda shirt I am. YouTube.com/Nintendo Voice. There we go. Any more Wii U ports, possibly?
I was going to suggest Game & Wario.
I was thinking about Game & Wario. That is very Wii specific, though.
That is very, that's ultra.
Same with Nintendo Land.
So maybe Switch and Mario. Or Wario, sorry. Switch and Wario.
Switch and Wario.
Yeah, remember that.
Well, we've got the I can't remember its official title, but the WarioWare remix, as it were, it's coming to 3DS.
Which I feel like they're doing just to kind of gauge interest in the series.
Maybe, or maybe it is to promote the series as a whole, as it were, so they can release both within a similar time window, and they kind of help promote each other. I
kind of feel like they're doing that with Wii U's Mansion as well. They're doing the 3DS remake, so okay, let's see how many people pick this up. and see if we can bring that audience to a Switch game when we release it in the future. Which brings me to, it's not Wii U port, it's not been announced or anything, but I do think there will be a Luigi's Mansion announced for Switch.
For Switch. And I have to mention on that note that I actually played Luigi's Mansion Arcade recently.
Oh, of course. Yes, I saw it.
Of course. Yeah.
Of course.
It works quite well. It's if you see that in arcade. I'm sure you would anyway. If you're listening to this, it's fun because you hold a big vacuum controller thing, and the best thing about holding a big vacuum controller is when you suck up a coin, like you can feel it go down the
Oh, really?
tunnel, and it like clangs as a at the back of it. It's all right. Like the weird thing is like that was more satisfying than actually sucking up ghosts, because like I mean you kind of vibrates and such, but like you don't really like feel anything go through. But they must have like known that coin thing would work quite well, because it feels like there's a whole like mechanic built in there just for sucking up coins, which is such a small part of that game.
That seems to be where the focus was. That's what it sounds like.
It might be where the focus was. It's a fun two-player kind of have some fun at the arcade game, especially if you've got some sort of Nintendo interest between you.
Yeah. Kind of like Mario Kart Arcade. Apparently that's quite good.
I also played that on the same day.
I
I played on a Pac-Man stage. Can you believe it?
That's like blending to me franchise. Anyway, yes. Harrison.
Well, speaking of racing and blending franchises and genres, can we talk about the elephant in the room that is the supposedly rumored Star Fox
we can.
by Retro?
We are around.
I like the idea. I do. The more I think about it, like this, I feel like this is a type of like a genre bent, like mix of a genre that this series kind of needs to inflict itself, whatever. But also, it looks the way it sounds, whatever, is that it could actually give me a single player experience that I've been waiting for, and especially in Mario Kart that I've been wanting for so long. So I part of me is like, because I got burnt before thinking like, okay, like I believe that whole rumor about the Metroid Star Fox like a crossover, but that turns out that did not hold any water in terms of like sourcing. Now here it's man, I would not mind it being real. I really do, but I'm now leaning thinking like I think it is real. I really do. I'm
not a fan of this franchise blending thing.
Well, it's not so much franchise blending this, because the rumor is it's just a Star Fox racing game. So it's genre
which
blending.
Sounds surprised. It sounds very much like what F-Zero was doing.
Well, yeah, but I mean, it's not like, because there was a rumor, as Harrison mentioned before, like, oh, there will be like a Star Fox F-Zero game. This isn't that. It's there's to be a Star Fox racing game.
I know.
Okay, sir.
But yeah, I feel like Nintendo has this racing franchise which they don't want to use anymore. And if they decide, oh, by the way, now Star Fox is our racing franchise, I don't know how I feel about that. Maybe if F-Zero was more being used more, I'll be fine with
Alive.
it. But yeah, exactly. Yes, actually, not on life support. It's not on that. It's comatose. Yeah, I just want it to be. I don't know. I don't feel like
you want it to be F-Zero, basically.
Yes, I don't want it to be Star Fox, the racing game. I want it to be Star Fox.
Yeah, I know what you mean, because I think, yes, like, let's say Star Fox Racing, as it were. Let's say that's... I'm not saying that's what the name's going to be, but having a conversation about a game.
Saying that makes me die a little inside.
It probably will be called that. But it does feel like it's in between. Like F-Zero... If it was like it's in between F-Zero and Mario Kart, like it seems like it asks the question of why. And I guess what the answer is that it is, it's less like actual competitive multiplayer focused and more single player racing game focused. And that's what makes that different.
Okay.
It's hard to say because it doesn't, it's not technically a thing yet. It's, it could all be smokes and mirrors at this point. Like, it's not like we've had a leaked actual screenshot or art or anything. It could turn out to be something quite different. So, but it also seems to be somewhat credible. Like it seems like there's people you trust who are going, "Yep, I've heard this from multiple sources."
Retro did a great job of Metroid turning it from this side-scrolling game to twisting it into a first-person adventure game. The reason I feel that worked was because Nintendo didn't have an alternative franchise that was also a first-person shooter game.
Wait, what? Wait, an alternative? Wait, that they did not make one, or somebody?
Yeah, no, Nintendo didn't have one already. Like they didn't have a first-person game to go, as in a franchise that was like, this is our first-person franchise.
Especially in like the GameCube era,
exactly,
as it were.
So, I just think Star Fox are doing it. It is true. Star Fox is filling a void, which they already have a game that can fill that void.
Well, okay. I know you're about to say F-Zero, but here's the thing: name anybody else outside of Captain Falcon, and his that anybody knows about that. You have people who know, like as far as a name and brand. Star Fox is a little bit more recognizable. I know people were clamoring to have F-Zero revived. I was I was at a point, but I also feel like that series peaked with GX. I really do. It's the same thing when you look at like Star Fox. At some point, you have to change. You have to change, but just to give it a little more breathing air. And with something like this, what did they decide to go with? If this is true, Star Fox itself has has the far better ceiling.
I agree. But I feel like the only reason Captain Falcon is the only recognizable character from F-Zero is
ask anybody.
But I'm saying the reason because they're going to say Captain Falcon. He's the most recognizable F-Zero character.
Mm-hmm.
And that's because of Smash Bros.
Well, no, there's no doubt about that. You can easily credit Fire Emblem's Boom here in the States because of that, and even a little bit more of Earthbound, for instance, with Ness. Mm-hmm. I'm just saying is people who really just were when we discussed this back, when this rumor first started out, is it makes sense to use Star Fox because that at least has some more interesting characters into it. Now, F-Zero does have some very far interesting characters, and that if you look more into it, it's not as recognizable.
Because I haven't had a game in 12 years.
12 years. Try more than that. That's
was it more than that? Oh.
Well, they haven't had a 3D game since 2003, and they had the Game Boy. They had a Game Boy Advance game in 05, I think.
Was that Maximum Velocity or something?
No, Maximum Velocity. No, GP
Legends.
No, that was the launch GBA game, or near launch at least. It wasn't.
Maximum Velocity was the launch title.
Yeah, GP Legends was when it came there. Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, basically anime. Remember when there was an F-Zero anime? I mean, I didn't think you came over it, but
you never came over it. That's why I don't.
But there was a small sliver of time when there was there's a GameCube game, and there's a portable game, there's an anime, and it's in the arcades as well. Oh, it's going to be here forever.
Go on.
There was. I keep forgetting there was an F-Zero anime.
Yeah, it's crazy. Maybe this will be the year they'll bring it all back. But with Star Fox instead.
Hey, I'm saying though, if they do with this Star Fox racing game, there's opportunities to actually give it some anime cutscenes, just like we saw at the one that they had for Zero, and I would kill for a series like that.
That'd be cool. And I guess I think what could make this game unique, at least compared to Mario Kart and F-Zero, is that the main vehicle you use in Star Fox are spaceships, not cars. And so you'll be flying around and not on tracks. And that's fairly unique for a racing game. So if they found some genuine gameplay mechanics and ideas around that, and you look at it and go, oh, that is a new type of racing game. Maybe that justifies it being Star Fox. Opposed to maybe they came up with the idea for and it was gonna be a new IP, sort of this sort of futuristic racing game. Oh, maybe that's too close to F-Zero,
right?
And maybe they jumped to Star Fox as this how to do that. But if it is a lot of flight based racing, and maybe if there is a lot of actual combat as well, as in terms of shooting, opposed to just using items. That could be quite unique and set it apart from Mario Kart.
I think they could do the same thing with boss battles as well, because they had that same similar thing with it, whatever in Diddy Kong Racing. So I think that's just where it's filling that void to something that I really feel like would just, and when it comes to doubting retro, I know there's been such a turnover with different staff members because it's not the same retro we saw back from when they made Metroid Prime.
Mhm.
So I'm just saying it seems like there's a retro cycle. It's like, oh, I didn't want this really. Gets up, then it's like, oh, praised. I like this. Something's revealed. Tropical Freeze, for instance. I do not want this. Next thing I know it's praised. It's a cycle for this.
It's a cycle. Yeah, I agree with that. Although I would agree with that. Yeah, I just want to see something from retro. I mean, it's been so long since we heard anything from retro. I just want anything.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's put aside whether we want to see this, whether we would like it if it existed. Do we think that Star Fox Racing will be at E3? I'm going to say no.
I'm leaning towards yes, this is a thing.
Okay, Colin, does it exist? You may hate it, but does it exist?
No.
It doesn't? Oh, okay. Well, good
Shock,
for you.
I don't want to shock people, but I'm going to say no.
No, fair enough. Is that got anything? Did you put aside your opinions about the game when you made that decision?
Oh, absolutely not.
No. Oh, okay. Fair enough. Final answer is your final answer.
Yep.
So let's. I was going to say let's jump to some other big rumors.
Oh, are we losing Lewis here?
I think we are losing Lewis. Yeah, I think we are losing Lewis. Sorry about that.
Lewis, we're losing you.
Yeah, we're losing.
I don't know if I've been lost or not. Maybe so.
We got Lewis back.
He's back.
Sorry about
I just kept talking about my loss. I'm back. Hello, everybody. I'm Lewis. I'm part of the podcast once again.
Hello.
And we're talking about Pokemon because Colin reacted at the beginning of the show in a weird way when I mentioned the new Pokemon games.
I would say somewhat dejected.
Yeah.
So,
Hey, you,
yes.
Colin. What do you think about Pokemon?
as a whole,
No, something about the Hey You bits.
oh, hey you. I understand why it exists. I understand it's a very clever business move. It is not a Pokemon game for people who play Pokemon. It's a Pokemon game for ultra casual fans who want to get into Pokemon.
Okay.
That's how I feel.
Okay.
Do you reckon we'll see more of that at E3?
Oh, absolutely.
Having just been announced.
Absolutely. Yes.
Oh, yeah, I think that's obvious there.
Yeah.
Obviously there. All right. I reckon it will obviously be there.
Of course. Yeah.
So do you reckon we'll see any other Pokemon stuff?
No.
No.
I think their focus will be on this. They're going to try and push it as hard as they can. They want to sell it as many people as they can. They get that core audience, or the core Pokemon Go audience, to invest their time into getting this game. So, yeah.
So it's going to be more Hey You Pikachu and Hey You Eevee. That's not just naming the actual names of the games. Wasn't trying to make it big.
But it's just God, that gives me an aneurysm. The issue, just names are just not good. But I kind of feel that's going to be one of the hurdles for them. It's the titles themselves. I mean, Pikachu is way more recognizable than Eevee.
Exactly. Yeah. So you can imagine there's going to be a big difference in sales numbers between the Pikachu edition and the Eevee edition.
Way more than I don't know. We'll see.
Well, if there's any other episode, I'd ask you what the ratio would be, but we've got too many bets to play. So big franchises. We've covered Zelda. We've covered some Metroid.
Mm-hmm.
What's next for Mario? Will we? And Mario casts quite a wide net.
It does.
So will we see any new Mario games?
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Any more information? Party racing, sports,
DLC.
platforming?
I'm going to say it now. DLC for Mario Odyssey
Okay. And what form is this looking like?
New Kingdoms,
Kingdoms.
more moons, and more caps and such and capture abilities.
Okay.
I don't know. That's a game I really felt like that opens up more to a lot more DLC to it, even though with so much other content that they have into it. So,
I can see that. How
about you, Colin? What sort of Mario new stuff do we see?
I do kind of lean towards DLC for Mario because it hasn't had any official like paid DLC, so that'd be interesting for it. I was going to go side along the lines of perhaps a new Mario Party.
Ooh, I'm right with you there. Or Mario Party 12.
Given the Switch's ability to have 2 players out the box, you can spread that across, or you can do like a whole pass the Joy-Con around type deal. I don't know, but yeah, I don't think it's going to be Mario Party. What, like 11 on now?
It'll be 12 if they keep the numbers. 12. And there's been a lot of Mario Party games without numbers next to them because there've been a lot of portable entries as well.
Yeah, Mario Party must be the longest running series of games that have just numbers with no subtitle.
There's Final Fantasy exists still.
Oh, well, yes. Actually, you are
it
right. It
definitely does.
Because there's no subtitles.
They're up to 15.
They're at 15, yeah.
Yeah, it's not that far behind, to be fair.
Which is
it
bizarre.
Could catch up.
If
they go back to the original release pace, they could beat them.
Crank one out a year.
5 years' time.
Yeah. I do kind of wish they would go back to the standard Mario Party formula of the board. Actually, as in it being a board game and not this whole, hey, we're all in a vehicle and we're all
let's see what happens.
Yeah, it's not.
I like the Mario Party game as the board game, as it were.
Yeah.
Like it gets a lot of hate, but I think it's like as board games go,
it's right.
Like it's. I'm not saying it's necessarily right up there, but I mean it feels like it plays by those sorts of rules where, like, yes, you can like screw people over and such, but you can kind of do that in a deliberate fashion. Like
it is one of the cruelest Mario games you can play.
Yeah, but I mean you all have those tools to use sort of things. Like I like the points where you can like set a paywall to go for a certain route sort of thing, and the next person has to pay it.
Or like you
can split the board up into different sections, and then you're all like stuck in different islands. Like I liked it when they got creative, but they still had that core rule set of the one with the most stars, and you buy them for 20 coins.
Yeah,
but you got to find it. You got to get there. Choose your route wisely, and hopefully you don't get messed up by the other characters too much.
Just pray that the dice like you.
Exactly, but it's a board game. I hope we get some more Mario Party.
Yeah.
I
think it works. The Switch.
All right. Sports games, Nintendo sports games, extreme or not. Will we see any? Will we see any 1080s or F-Zeros?
No.
Anything on that scale?
If I don't, you know what? A Mario Golf title. We got tennis. I feel like
I think it's too early for golf though.
Tennis won't even be out yet. But that's.
Oh yeah, you're right. That would take I think that one would be more.
That's the direct thing. I feel like later down the line, maybe towards the end of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Potentially, I don't know. I feel like Mario Golf's a very springtime type game. But yeah, sport games. No.
Yeah, no, nothing like that.
Nothing comes to mind. Nothing.
I would like either a new 1080 or F-Zero, to be completely honest. I really like both those series.
Did you say F-Zero? You mean Wave Race? You mean Wave Race, right?
I do mean Wave Race. I said F-Zero, didn't I?
You said F-Zero twice, yes.
I said it twice now.
Sports games, F-Zero, mate. So technically fall under sport? I mean, racing?
Depends who you ask, doesn't it? Really? That's what I meant all along. My favourite free sport games are F-Zero, Wave Race, and 1080. It's been well documented over the years. But the two in particular, 1080 and Wave Race. That's F-Zero again. I think I would more like to see. I think it would be 1080, but it would be fun to see a modern Wave Race, to be honest.
I think Wave Race is more likely than 1080.
Possibly, yeah. I really did like the last 1080 though. Avalanche on the GameCube.
I never did get a chance. I never did get a chance to play it.
Such a generic title. God.
It is, but it was also kind of like the core feature. Like you could raise avalanches in the game, which was pretty awesome. It was my best thing about it. And they build up that effect really well, and you're like knee under, covered in snow, and like things are like collapsing around you. And by the end of it, you like jump into a helicopter, which is pretty cool, and take off as like the whole mountain's just crumbling.
What if you don't make it in time? The helicopter's like.
I
feel sorry, but the helicopter guy is just sitting like, "Where's an avalanche coming towards us?"
Is that he's got a job like because it's just going everywhere. Unfortunately, mate. I guess I'll pick one. The one I think most realistic is.
Which isn't going to happen.
It would be 1080, I reckon. I say they don't do it in house though. They get someone to do it for them.
Like who? Like
that's a good question.
Retro. No.
I don't reckon it would be retro. A bit of a weird one.
The Next Level Games?
I was thinking along those lines, actually.
I was like, if he's going to say anybody, it's going to be Next Level Games.
Why Next Level? But yeah, that's the name which came to my head. Yeah, it's Next Level's making 1080.
There you are.
There we go.
They're not, but...
Trusted sources. What do you mean? There you are. You heard it here first.
He also heard it first, and they're not. So
it probably wasn't first. So in terms of, I guess, big franchise, or at least franchises which are like just big to us, anything kind of out there which
an out there prediction?
I've been looking forward to this one.
I'm actually going to say something that I feel like could get announced, and this has been talked about a lot.
Okay.
I think I wouldn't mind, and you know what? I think like something to hold over people until Prime 4 gets out next year. If the Metroid Prime trilogy redone in HD.
Oh,
I like the sound of that. I think it's
terrible. I was thinking something.
Why is it terrible? Why is it terrible?
No, I said it's not terrible. I was thinking you're going to be like Metroid Prime Pinball HD. I'm like,
I wouldn't mind that in an eShop title. Trust me.
Yeah.
As an eShop title, I agree.
And you can sport the vertical mode. It's a perfect idea, Colin. Thank you.
Yeah, okay.
No, if you want my off the wall, if you want another off the wall, I will say Mother 3. There we go. Fine. It's going to be releasing alongside the virtual not the virtual console, but the Nintendo Online. There's my thing.
So I'm gonna come to you one day. I'm just gonna find out where you are and be like, hey man, I'm just gonna pat you on the shoulder, give you a hug, and say, Mother 3 is never gonna happen.
But you don't even need to say the words Mother 3.
Don't.
Just about the hug, and it's never gonna happen. Just hope that doesn't get misinterpreted.
No, you tap me. I'm like, why are you doing this? And I just somebody's tapping me on the shoulder, and I'll have a fit, and I just like reach back and punch somebody. But I'm like, oh god, it's Colin. Never mind.
All right, I'll be like, it's definitely happening. I'll see you later.
No, but like that the idea of a Metroid Prime trilogy redone in HD would be perfect for that.
I would be on board. I would be on board for that. Yeah.
And also, it would make sense in terms of, I imagine there's a lot of people who haven't played Metroid Prime 1 to 3.
Absolutely.
And I feel like Prime 4 is a game they're going to want, eyes on. They're going to want people to jump in.
Well, they're going to want you to bring it up to speed as well, because Metroid is a sequential series.
And it is
story-driven. So
unless they drop the number, like that, the only thing they've told us about this game so far, it's Prime 4.
Exactly.
And so the Prime trilogy would make a lot of sense to get people up to speed.
Can I give out my off the wall prediction?
Of course.
Yeah.
Well, it's welcomed in fact. Encouraged.
Wait, what?
It's encouraged.
Oh, good. Jolly good. So my off the wall prediction. This is the full title. Eternal Darkness, Sanity's Requiem.
Ooh.
We're going to have a remake of Eternal Darkness.
Who does it?
Oh, no. Next Level Games.
Hey, they just Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon.
They're very busy currently.
Super busy right now. No, I don't know who's going to be doing it, but I would love to see it announced. Because I feel like Nintendo needs to cite with the IP. They keep they keep renewing it. So like, do something with the IP. You own it. I feel like they can't just be like, oh, here's Eternal Darkness 2, because people are like, oh, what's this Eternal Darkness game? So do a remake, as in full remake. I want fully like new. You can really do something with the sanity effects on the Switch.
Well, if you're wondering why with the releasing like that trademark each year, which of course are like, oh, what does this mean? I'm butchering basically the reasoning behind this. Is just like I heard it's the fact like so they do this with mostly all their other like IPs. Is that way you don't have somebody like overseas make a mock-up or something like this just in that they didn't re-up the trademark, then Nintendo would not have any reasons to shut that down.
Exactly. No, that is exactly right. I wonder if like Nintendo has someone who's just hired just to keep an eye on the dates of all their trademarks, because they've got so many. They're like, oh, we need to renew this one. We need to renew this one. This one needs to be renewed. It's like, oh, but yeah, I would love Eternal Darkness to come back. And
so would I, but I'm not sure I'm feeling it as it were.
I did say it was off the wall.
It is an off the wall one.
Mm-hmm.
It would be very cool.
Mm.
It's always weird enough for it to happen, sort of thing.
I know. Which is why I'm semi-confident that it's not.
What about you, Lewis?
In terms of off-the-wall predictions?
Yeah, give us a wacky one.
A wacky one? Oh, wacky one. I'm going to be a wacky one. All right, now I've just got to come up with one on off the dome. So, a wacky Nintendo game. How about... So it's going to be based off a series that already exists.
Okay.
Let's start with Fire Emblem. So this isn't the core Fire Emblem game, but it's going to be a Switch game.
Okay.
Possibly another crossover, because Fire Emblem has done crossovers before.
Yeah, for you, yes.
This particular Fire Emblem crossover.
Fire Emblem Tetris.
No, it's not with Fire Emblem Tetris.
No. Oh, speaking of Tetris, did you see the footage of the new Tetris game that's being done by the guy who did Rez and Luminous?
No,
I did. Tetris Effect, I believe.
Yeah, I am for this.
Is it Tetris?
It's Tetris done like in a more psychedelic type of way. So basically, think of what it's
like rhythmic fashion sort of thing.
So it's still falling blocks and stuff.
I'm not sure, to be honest.
Yeah.
I've only seen like the art for it. I've not actually seen any footage. But like just hearing like it's the people behind it and they've got the Tetris brand, that seems quite cool. But I think that's a PlayStation only game, which is a shame. So yeah, my Fire Emblem crossover, it's going to be. Oh, that's a bit too. It's going to be Fire Emblem Cross Soul Calibur essentially. So it's going to be the sword wielders of Fire Emblem versus all the weapon wielders of Soul Calibur.
You know.
Oh, here we go.
No. I want to see that. I want to see that. Because the ridiculousness of Soul Calibur's characters, and especially the proportions of both the male and female characters, and you're just like, what is this?
And that kind of works.
It kind of works for Fire Emblem.
Yeah, no.
No?
No, it sounds.
No, I mean, the only thing which talks myself against this, like Nintendo is juggling like a lot of fighting game series currently. Like,
yeah, can you name a successful franchise that made a fighting game that did well?
Wait,
what?
Can you name a franchise that went into the fighting game genre and actually did well?
Oh, which wasn't a fighting game before it.
Before.
Pokken Tournament seems to be doing all right.
That does well.
Okay, I will grant you that, but it does have Pokemon behind it, which does help.
Oh, you are moving goalposts with that one.
No, I'm not. That does have a okay. I'll give you Pokken. I will give you Pokken.
Okay, we're glad we agreed on that much.
Can you give me another?
Well, there's a lot of fighting games which aren't based off necessarily other games, but are based off of like anime and characters from non-games. Do they count?
I was thinking more just like the Nintendo side of things, but
on the Nintendo side, well, you really are moving the goalposts.
No, I'm not.
Ah.
Okay.
No, but they are Nintendo's juggling a lot of fighting games currently. Like they've got well, we know Smash Bros is about to come out. They've got Pokken Tournament. They've got ARMS. I feel as some I'm not even mentioning which are direct. Maybe I'm not. But it does seem Switch is getting a lot of fighting game support. They've got already got a few editions of Street Fighter.
I'm just getting flashes of that horrendous Castlevania fighting game for the Wii.
Oh, okay. This is where this was the destination.
And things like Star Wars sort of that fighting game, Masters of the Terrakasi. So, yeah, I don't know. I feel like when things move into the fighting game realm, it doesn't always work.
Well, the way that say if Lewis's idea does, you handle that to Bandai Namco, the same folks who are well equipped to that.
True. I wonder actually if they would still include the weapon triangle system.
Well, that's for one thing.
There will be a mode which puts that in.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah, it'd be good. Yeah, that's a random prediction, which could happen.
Bonkers, right?
It is pretty bonkers. I reckon we'll see something oddly non-Smash Bros. Fighting game from Nintendo announced from this E3. I'm not entirely sure what it is. Feeling in my bones though. They want this, and it might be a bit like non-direct, or non-traditional, kind of like ARMS-ish.
Mm-hmm.
I feel we're gonna have another type of fighting-ish games to oddly go alongside Smash Bros. in a weird way, and it might be again it's another off-the-wall one, but maybe something like the characters from the Xenoblade universe in a sort of fighting game or something. Even again, maybe not traditional. Maybe it's more of a strategy type game, but I mean it's competitive in the sense that you get two people against each other in the same game, sort of thing.
All I'm getting from this is Lewis wants more fighting games.
I guess in some sort of from anime inspired series.
Yeah.
And there's plenty of that out there, and and some of that Switch bound. But Switchbound. That's my third game. Switchbound.
That's a game title right there.
What, Switchbound? Yeah. That's oddly the name of the new Star Fox Racing game. Doesn't work very well. It doesn't work at all. But if you just say it quickly and run away from it,
say it quickly and run away.
I guess so. It really does depend if Retro's making this Star Fox Racing game or not. Well, in a way, in just in that context, because obviously, if they're not, what are they doing? And it's definitely we're quite far away from a confirmation as such. That is what they're working on. Do we think we'll see something other than Star Fox Racing from Retro? We'll word it like that. Okay. And if so, what is it?
I think they're probably it's just one per project, but I think this will probably be piggybacking off if I the whole Metroid Prime Trilogy edition, HD. I feel like they would probably be able to handle something like that. But yeah, I don't know. I think that'd be the only thing they have.
How about you said you didn't think Star Fox Racing was true, right? What are they making? Surely they would announce that this year. It's been so long.
Exactly, you are correct because it's been. I finished Tropical Freeze in 2014, so
yes, 2014.
It's been a fair amount of time. They must have had something in the works for that long. Yeah, it's not going to be Star Fox Racing because I do not even believe that exists. Yeah, it's a tough one. What could they be working on? I'm going to say they're working on the next. I'm actually going to say they are working on the next Star Fox, but it's a proper Star Fox game.
Okay. With maybe a racing mode in it as a little bonus thing, and that's where all the rumors have come from. Someone saw some footage of it. Star Fox Racing.
I can kind of see that. I mean, I can
in the same way you got versus battles.
Yeah.
In 64 game, it's just a mode like that sort of thing. It's of no significance.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
But it's there technically.
Yeah, I can kind of see it.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm going to keep my retro rumor of, I think, 2 years running going until I'm proven wrong with Star Fox Racing, of some sort of Tomb Raider-esque adventure game with a female lead still.
It's a Tomb Raider.
And it's basically
It's
not
Tomb Raider, but not
the most recent Tomb Raider game announced, because I even predicted it would be like in mostly like snow-covered mountains and such.
Yep.
I still reckon it's that.
Mm.
I'm feeling very confident it's
So
that still.
it's a non-copyright infringing Tomb Raider game.
Basically, yeah. I can't really remember what the twist was going to be. Probably that there was very minimal guns in it. Maybe it's all hand-hand combat. There we go. That's the twist.
Dear, oh dear.
Lots of environmental puzzle solving and punching dudes.
Just random punching of dudes.
Pretty much. That's what Retro's working on. It's going to be fantastic.
Punching dudes.
Yeah, that's the name of the game. I bet there's a lot of returned copies who assume it's for something else.
Yep. It sounds like even with the Unshy franchise, to be honest.
No.
Yeah. There you are.
Okay. Should we do one last round of crazy predictions?
Yes.
Okay. Crazy.
Got to think big.
Something huge.
But somewhat.
Well, not crazy.
Plausible.
Let's end on.
We're not sure we're playing for. We're definitely playing for points though.
Well, we're playing for points. Well, we forgot to mention third parties.
Oh, okay. Okay.
This covers all. Let's do one last sweep.
Yeah. So the worst kept secret basically at the moment, Fortnite. That's pretty much a given. Right. I think it's coming to Switch.
And Paladins was just actually announced.
Paladins
for the show.
So,
yeah, there was that. I'm gonna shout. I think Red Dead Redemption's coming, not the first one, and I think GTA 5 finally, because
yeah, I can see it.
GTA 5, and
Will we get some sort of like special Nintendo treatment in GTA 5? Will there be something out of place, but from the Nintendo universe in it?
I don't think Nintendo will let them do that, because
Mario and Luigi's mob bosses, man, this is
the violent nature of that game.
Maybe in the way maybe, but I guess it pushes it beyond. But my comparison was going to be like you can there's like little Yoshi dolls in Metal Gear Solid Twin Snakes sort of thing. Like maybe there's like you can get mushrooms or something.
In GTA, they'll have a whole new context.
Exactly, yeah. I like they put them in Tekken. Surely can have a little bit of fun with GTA. It's been so long, just put a little bit of
humor into it. Yeah, that's not going to happen.
Maybe just a selection of Nintendo shirts you can dress up in. No, yeah. Actually, I see your point. Maybe not.
No,
they don't want to mix those brands too much in what they can do.
You don't. I'm trying to think of something else. Like third party.
I do have something.
Go. Please go.
Fallout 76 was recently announced, but we don't really know what it actually is. So I feel like with Bethesda firmly behind the Switch right now, maybe we might see that come to Switch.
Depending what it is.
Depending what it is, or something. Maybe we finally get Fallout 4, but we'll see.
On the Bethesda train, it's rumored, although it may just be my headcanon, that Doom 2 is going to be announced this year.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
What are the chances of it being a day one release with the other versions for Switch?
None.
I say yeah.
None, says Colin.
Why?
None. Because it's the Switch. They were, we'll put the Switch version back a few months. It always happens.
Now, if you have panic button on it.
Yeah, like if it uses the same engine sort of thing, maybe they can do it.
Oh, yeah, but they're not going to they like to tech things up.
They do. Like, that is kind of their thing. Like, but it might be... Like, I think there's been enough time since the release of Doom for Switch. and in theory, a few months' time when this game would come out,
Yeah.
that they could kind of fast track it using the engine and getting like id engineers on board, sort of thing. Like, I think it's in the realms of possibility. Doesn't necessarily mean it's going to happen, but I think it would be like I feel you get away with this move once or twice, and I think this would be a good time to use it. As in, like, yes, it is also on the Switch, and they make a point for it. Yes, it is the same date, and I think for that reason, it would get quite a lot of attention.
I think what will be even more remarkable, this is completely off the wall. So there are rumblings that Elder Scrolls 6 is going to be announced at this year's E3. What if that was going to come to Switch? That would be remarkable.
That would be cool. I mean, I reckon if it exists, it probably will in a weird way. Now, I'm not necessarily it's day and date.
Yeah. I don't think it would be day and date if it is. But yeah.
Yeah, I reckon it would. Again, I'm not entirely sure it would be part of the same announcement. But I reckon with just the support so far, they would be trying to get that game on Switch. And I think, although, graphically, like you look at like the Switch version of Wolfenstein 2 and the other versions, and there is a noticeable graphics difference. I think that's basically the situation we'd be in. Like, it would be, you would be able to run the game on the Switch. It would play well.
Yeah.
It would just look worse than the other versions.
I feel like it might even have the subtitle Switch edition or something.
Possibly. But obviously you do get just some built-in advantage on Switch. Like, oh yes, now it's a portable edition sort of thing.
Yeah. There you are.
Okay. I reckon, this isn't my craziest one, so it might not be the one I closed with. But I reckon we're getting some sort of multiplayer Zelda game. And it's not the craziest, because we've had a bunch of multiplayer Zelda games. But yeah, I reckon this could be a more focused, it might even be the first 3D multiplayer focused Zelda game.
Link's Crossbow Training 2.
It's not the same. I'm talking about going into dungeons together, solving puzzles, defeating enemies. Maybe even have some sort of grinding loop to it. But maybe it's like a 3D style Four Swords basically.
Yeah.
And maybe it would be more top down, but it's just a more dynamic camera or something. But some sort of something to go alongside that new shiny Nintendo Online service. Jump all together with a bunch of different coloured costume links.
You're describing Triforce Heroes HD.
In a way, it wasn't a bad game, to be honest. You just had to play a monster.
It wasn't a great game either, but
if you play it with people, it's good.
If you play it with people, it's amazing.
That's my point, and I'm pitching this as a multiplayer Zelda game.
Okay, yes,
and they've been fun. So I reckon they might try and do more of a big splash. We've done a few attempts at this in the past. We've done a few Four Swords games. We did Triforce Heroes. We have a similar titles. Let's put a big marketing push behind this, as well as putting seemingly some extra resource time into the game itself. Flesh it out more. Have a proper stab at this thing. Exactly. Yeah, and with your Master Sword, yes, you are correct. And I could see that as this is another kind of not just a multiplayer experience, but an online Nintendo experience. Especially I think anything I think you've got to put Zelda stuff out there after Breath of the Wild. And they usually kind of fill those gaps with these weird multiplayer Zelda games. So I reckon maybe they're doing that, but bigger and bolder.
Yeah, but no.
I
don't.
You're gonna put Zelda on there. It's gonna sell, Colin. They're telling us we need to make these Zelda games, but it's gonna take us years to make this next true one. What are we gonna do?
Nothing.
Chuck some purple, green, and red, and I can't remember the colours. No. Okay.
It's gonna be exciting though.
Oh, definitely. I feel I'm the most excited for this E3. Colin is going in there with level-headed expectations. He's going to come out of this with no scars at all compared to me.
No. I've been hurt by E3 before. I'm not doing it again.
Nah, that's my problem. I just keep walking back.
Keep raising the bar. You're like, oh, we're gonna get this. We're gonna get this. No. We're gonna have some very nice announcements. We're gonna have a very nice presentation, and we're all gonna leave happy.
Okay, that sounds like a jolly time.
Happy.
Good vibes, fun all round.
Yeah, I mean,
That's a positive note.
Lewis be like, why did they announce this game? Everything else.
The numbers.
Yeah, exactly. See.
Oh, I get him. So we are very nearing the end of this show. Do we have any very pressing things we need to get off our chests about what might be coming around the corner?
We haven't announced. Well, we haven't announced. We haven't discussed, and that's the possibility of any. We're not announcing it from ourselves. We're discussing it. It's the possibility of any new hardware being shown here.
The only piece of new hardware I could actually be shown is another classic edition of their Nintendo, like whether it's a Game Boy or N64.
I do think that's the thing. They might show off the N64 classic.
It's really too early for any Switch type of revision, and the only type I think you probably get there is somebody selling, like we talked about last week, selling the Switch just with the Joy-Cons and everything else without the dock. I could easily see that being shown up.
I don't think these are E3 announcements so far, but Colin, do go on.
I think that I tend to agree with Harrison, but I feel like they may be like, we've got some interesting peripherals in the work, because they have done that before on E3.
Well, if you're talking about peripherals, a different story. I'm talking about hardware. I was like, okay.
Well, yeah, I'm glad. Yeah. But yeah, well, they might say, look, we've got the Switch Plus in the works, or whatever they're going to call it. You know?
That is hardware. That was exactly Harrison's definition.
I know.
So you reckon we'll see Switch Plus?
I'm not saying that's going to happen.
Oh, okay.
But there's a crazy part of me that goes.
What is it? If it was to be announced, what makes
Switch
it the Plus?
It's
is it bigger?
I know. It's like it's kind of like the new 3DS version of the Switch. It's the Switch.
I know, but what makes this one different specifically?
Yeah, it's got.
It's your prediction. What's?
I don't know. I was just talking about peripherals, and then we're going into like actual hardware.
Oh, sorry. I thought that was your thing. What's the peripheral then?
Oh, peripheral. I don't have a definitive idea. I just feel like they're going to show off something.
Oh, okay.
That's going to be like, hey, this is like the new cool thing for the Switch.
Maybe like alternative Joy-Cons, maybe an official one with D-pad, or just like this is where maybe the wacky Joy-Cons come out. For this game.
I feel like that could be a thing.
Smash Joy-Cons? Could that be true? Could we have like
you get two halves of the GameCube controller and you slide?
Well, kind of. Like I feel that's the joke, but maybe they would do something like it. Like it doesn't look like two sides of a GameCube, but maybe it kind of feels a bit like two sides.
I can see that. I can it's like Joy-Cons, but they got a handle on them, so you can grip it.
Yeah, like the grip on the back's different. The sticks and the buttons feel different, but they don't necessarily look like two halves of a GameCube.
I'm gonna do a little bit of visual here. The problem I have with Joy-Con is there's no grip on it. It's a slab of plastic. There's no way, apart from the curve at the top, there's nothing hot for you to hold on to.
I know what you need, Colin. An official accessory that already exists. Do you know what you need?
I'm not getting that shell case thing.
No, I'm talking official. You need the battery packs for the Joy-Cons where you put in two AA batteries. They give you the grip.
I don't want that in my life. I don't need that.
Well, don't put batteries in. But I think it's an official option that like nobody kind of remembers. But yeah, you can get these official kind of bigger, bulkier Joy-Con cases for them.
Okay. Well, anyway, my point is that I would like the option if they actually did that. Like, you can have Super Nintendo or GameCube or N64 or whatever console is your preferred console of choice, like style Joy-Cons that you slide on it. And it feels like the sides of that controller.
So would our most likely option here be NES styled? Because we know that service is coming out.
Yep.
You can have a bunch of NES games there.
Yeah, NES would be the easiest. Absolutely.
And it could also be their option of going, we've got the D-pad Joy-Cons. So the Joy-Con, Sounds like a Xenoblade race, doesn't it? The Joy-Con Classics. So it has a D-pad, but it also just has, it's just styled like a NES controller for your region.
Concave buttons. Oh, so good.
Depending on the region, yeah.
True. But
although that's, I think we're talking about Super Nintendo now.
Super Nintendo.
I'm confused. Yeah. All right. I think we're good, Harrison. Any burning predictions?
Harrison.
No, I'm just, like I said, I am ready to experience all this firsthand in the flesh.
Ooh. If Harrison's not around for the next few episodes, he will be recovering. That'll be a reason why. I hope you have a good time there, Harrison. It looks like it's going to be an interesting time for sure.
Interesting is putting it lightly, but we will see. I mean, we're just trying to get everything ready so we can actually play some Smash there. So yes.
Ready? All right. I'll leave with one last prediction.
Oh,
it's not the wackiest, but it is definitely one that is sooner than expected, which is a announcement with some sort of video of Xenoblade Chronicles 3.
Monolith Soft's working on something different.
True, and they're still making DLC for number 2, but my prediction still stands that they will see Xenoblade Chronicles 3,
despite
and
all
they
the
will
evidence
show
saying no,
like a scene of the sky or something, and maybe they'll tie in with 2 DLC or something.
No.
But we shall see. Anyway, I think that's going to do it for our E3 2018 predictions special. Let us know what your predictions are, but you don't have long. hello@nintendovoice.com, and we can score you points as well on the next show. We'll do the thing we do each week before we close. We'll go around and let you know how you can get hold of us and anything else we've been up to. Harrison, how can the fine folks of the internet get hold of you?
You can reach me at Twitter at hmilfeld, and hit me up and follow there. I'll be in Los Angeles from Monday to Wednesday night covering E3, so be excited. Get pumped.
And Colin.
Yeah. I'll say I'm really happy for Harrison. I hope he has a good time at E3. I hope you survive. Let's see. You can find me on Twitter at HeidiandBard, which is probably how you think it is. Anything to plug? Yeah, I've been streaming. I'm back on my streams. Mixer.com/HeidiandBard. You can find me streaming things like I did a Mario Kart 8 tourney, which was fun. And I've been slowly going through Mario & Rabbids on stream, which is also
that must be a nice jolly stream there.
Oh, it's glorious.
Or is it like, does it test your patience and its strategic capabilities?
No, actually, I find it. It's just fun. It's just a joyful game.
It's true, but like when I play a strategy game, must be long periods of time when nothing happens because I'm just thinking about what to do.
Oh no, I
is that a tricky balance to do on stream?
I make it very entertaining. I just throw things at the wall and see what sticks.
Okay, it's cool. Well, you want to see
high success rate.
Excellent. You want to see what's on Colin's wall? Join him on the stream.
Yes.
For myself, if you want to get hold of me, you can check out Twitter or Instagram. The name you need is Leuvision, and the way you spell that is Leuvsion. And that's going to do it for me, and that's going to do it for this show. So thanks once again for listening or for watching, and this has been Nintendo Voice.
Take care, everybody.
See you later, everyone.
Get home to E3.